up, YouTube? How y'all doing today? We are back with our fourth NFL video of the year. This is essentially the last month of football. We have 2 more weeks going to this, and then it's playoff time. I've enjoyed making this content for you guys all year long and keeping track of stats, doing power rankings every week. Some disagreement along the way, but we have had some agreement. It's kind of become more stable in the power rankings just because playoffs and everything, it really can't move anyone around. You win, you're good. So, let's see. I'll go to the handy dandy notebook here. We have a total of 11 different records, plus 4 with a tie. So in total, 15 different records. 4 teams do have a tie to them. The Colts, the Texans, the Giants, and the Commanders. No one's perfect. Everyone has a loss. Everyone has 2 wins, thanks to the Texans win over the Titans the other week. You look at the playoff picture right now. Eagles, Bills, Chiefs, Vikings, 49ers, Bengals, Cowboys, Ravens, and the Chargers have all clinched a spot, if not clinched a division, depending on which league they are in. There's 8 teams that have been eliminated, 9 have clinched, and there's still 15 teams that have a chance to fill in the spots. In the AFC, there are 2 spots left. It is the South and a wild card. So probably not many of those AFC teams will get in. Still don't know. In the NFC, there's 3. The South and 2 wild card spots. Everything else is essentially either clinched via playoff berth or clinched division. So there's 15 teams that still have a chance and 5 spots left. So it shall get interesting these last 2 weeks. Again, there's no meaningless game in football as things can get real interesting. When we take a look, as we always do, biggest plus, biggest minus. So biggest plus is the Bills. The Bills have essentially been the best football team scoring this year. If we look back, I believe it's been the Bills every time. We'll take a quick look. Bills, and Bills. So the Bills have been the best scoring football team. They've outscored opponents by 157 total. Second biggest is the 49ers. They're on a roll. They're just winning and taking care of the competition. Biggest minus is now the Colts. They're at 109. Again, Texans are 104 as second. But if we look back, simply look back, Texans were the biggest minus. Steelers had the biggest minus at one point. Texans weren't even in here. And the last one was the Tennessee Titans. So the Texans have been the past 2. They just essentially are just trying to lose out, get that first overall pick. Winning the other week was not any real big concern because the Bears also, they hold that tie, which kind of gives them, I guess, a lower win percentage. And it's weird numbers. So, besides the playoff picture, you look at the top 10 picks, and I'll include the 11th, and you'll see why. So, Texans get 1, Bears get 2, Seahawks get 3 via Denver, 4 Cardinals, 5 Colts, 6 Falcons, 7 is the Lions via the Rams, 8's the Panthers, 9's the Raiders, 10 is the Eagles via the Saints, at 11 is the Texans via Cleveland. I bring that 11th pick in is because 8, 9, 10 are not a lock. The Texans can get back into that top 10 and have 2 top 10 picks. Most likely, they can get back in there, but it all depends on how Panthers, Bucks play out towards the end. It will be interesting. If not, they'll have 2 top 15 picks, and you can't go wrong with that. Again, still a lot that's got to play out. And via those 11, 3 or 8 have been eliminated. So they're just essentially playing for seeding in the draft. I'm not really going to talk about disappointments, surprises. Y'all can see what has happened over the course of the year. When we get into the review of the year, I'll have the over-under and wins because I'm in the beginning of the season. I did 11 predictions. I'm not doing so hot, but again, we'll see why we weren't so hot to begin with. I also do have to find when I made my video for predictions for this year. I talked about last year and what to bet on if you did want to bet. I got to find that template. So we got 2 more weeks, week 17, week 18. This is, and then we got a recap of the season, and then the playoff picture, and then due time Super Bowl whenever we get there. But I will talk about that during that. So this is essentially this is the second video of the month just because of how the season worked and the timing. So we've played another 4 weeks as we've now gone through December, as we are now, as I'm recording this, 3 days away from the new year. Most likely, in general, this will be my last YouTube video of the year. As we said, set a goal. We have 10 YouTube. I want to do 10 YouTube videos for the month of January. We'll have the recap of the season. We're in the playoffs. Super Bowl will probably be in February, that week before. We'll see what else we can do. But that's just a personal goal besides the fact of NFL. So the different record, I don't think I said it. So 15 different records, 4th tie, 13-2, 12-3, 11-4, 10-5, 9-6, 8-7, 7-8, 6-9, 5-10, 4-11, and 3-12. The most popular is 7-8. Kind of interesting. Again, don't forget there will be no 8, no even. So either you'll be above 500 or below 500. You have 8 teams that have 10 wins or more. I believe that 9-6 team is the Chargers. So we'll see how that is. If any of you have been keeping track, we've been doing something called Stinger. We've done week 13, week 14, week 15, week 16. We fared pretty well. I think week 13 went 3-2. No, we went 3-2 again, but we had to do an emergency because of the fact that excuse me, the Cowboys sold real early. So we came up with an emergency. So I went 4-1. Then we went 4-1 again. And then this week we went 5-5. I was kind of hyped. Put a lot of thought and effort into that one. Kind of picked the obvious games. Clear winners, or should have won. And then we had the Texans. I thought they could have won, and of course they did. But taking 10.5, they were 9-5-1 against that spread, and now they're 10-5-1 against that spread. So can't beat it. So I really have not much more to say. I've enjoyed making these videos monthly or every 4 weeks, however you want to put it. Again, 2 more weeks. I'm excited to see how everything finishes up. There's a couple tight races. The Jags and Titans, Panthers, Bucks. That just essentially decides the South for each division. And then you got 1 wild card on the AFC side and 2 wild cards on the NFC side. Currently held by the Giants and Commanders. I believe the Giants win this week against the Colts. They're in, so that would clear up 1. Eagles win, they clinch the division. That's the NFC. So it would kind of leave 1 spot, and the Commanders are 7-1, and Tampa Bay's 7-8, and the Panthers are 6-9. So essentially, I don't think what ends up if the Tampa Bay loses this week, and hold on, let me rephrase. Tampa Bay loses, Panthers win, which then would put their records at 7-9. So, and the Panthers would have the overall tiebreaker if either team would lose week 8. Both teams lose week 18 or win week 18. Panthers win. I believe that's the scenario. Panthers win out, they're in, and Tampa is out. I don't know if they'll hold a playoff spot at 8-9. There's a chance, depending on how bad the Commanders do. They play the Browns. I think they play the Cowboys. Could be wrong. So a lot of interesting factors that can go into there. I do see, and what they were saying, if anyone has seen TV for today, that the Titans, Cowboys, Jags, Texans game this week is basically meaningless because next week is what decides the division. It's nothing meaningless. You rather have the upper edge in record. Because if the Jags win, they're 8-8, and Titans lose, it kind of is. I wouldn't say meaningless, but no matter what ends up happening, because it does eventually fall onto week 18. So we will see how it all plays out. And then you have, of course, the teams that have just clinched the postseason are just kind of fighting, win, praying someone loses above you. They're in. I know the Packers are fighting. Lions. There's a bunch of teams in the NFC that need something else to happen along with them winning. So a lot's going to have to happen in the next 2 weeks, and we'll kind of recap that in 2 weeks. So according to what I have written down in my notebook, January 13th and January 14th will be the next 2 NFL videos. One will discuss the recap of the season. The next one will then recap how we look at the postseason and how things will play out, and give my predictions on how everything will break down for the path to the Super Bowl. So other than that, I got not much. If y'all see, fire chair, no longer a wooden chair, so comfortable. Bluetooth speaker, massage, and these nice LED lights. Pretty hyped. So if I ever stream during the day, I may blast some music out of this thing and just have my headsets on, and it should come through. I'm pretty hyped about that. So other than that, I got nothing else for this video. Shall be an interesting last 2 weeks. Working up one more stinger for this week. Hopefully, finish on high of the year. We'll see how it goes. So, and yeah. Again, I wish y'all a very happy New Year. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever holiday. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Put it in simple terms. 2023, big things planned. Personally, I may actually just do a personal video trying to explain what my goals are for 2023. And just kind of break everything down into what I've done and what I have planned. So keep an eye out for that video. That'd probably be one of the first videos before we put up any football. So actually, I think that video will be first before Taco Bell. And then, so we got a lot planned even within the first 14 days. And I'm pretty hyped. So remember, you guys like this content, like, subscribe, follow, do whatever. I don't care. So you never miss a new video. I'll catch you all at the end of the season.